Live. Welcome, everybody. Nick, how's it going? It's Thursday, February 24th. Here for another installment of the Hi There Show, where we do design stuff live for your viewing pleasure and entertainment, possibly education.
Hopefully education. We do a lot
Heck
of
yeah.
design stuff and looking at the internet around these parts at the Hi There show. Zoom my camera out a little bit. Yeah, it's
Yep,
Thursday
and
night.
that's yeah. So tonight we're gonna look at some stuff in Figma. Just play around with some animations and transitions in the prototyping arena. That should be fun. Always impresses clients, and colleagues alike. Um, Gonna check out some new features in FigJam that I noticed today, including some plugins and stuff like that. Those things have been around for a while, but never really done anything with them. But let's see if there's anything useful there, folks. And a little preview or a little UX review of some websites, even Mac.ca, Mountain Equipment Company, they are now, is redesigning their website, or so they say. Who knows what that actually means? But let's have a look at their current website and see
And tear it to
what they might
shreds.
be changing. Yeah, let's rip it up. I actually think it's really good in a lot of ways. So I'm kind of curious to see your opinion on it, and
Okay.
then we'll see what they do to it.
Oh, that sounds great. That's a full slate.
And
Look at
whatever
us
else
getting a
pops
full
up, I don't
slate.
know.
I don't know. Let's look at the internet.
What else is fun that's happening? Anything new in your world that you want to throw on the table?
Um, hmm. Is there anything new going on in the world? Nope. Not over here. Just
No,
kind of working, avoiding the news at all costs.
as
Um,
usual.
as
Wait
usual.
for some. Um. All right. Well, let's see here. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna transition?
So I wanted to fire up auto animate tonight. I don't know. I just want to work on some like animation techniques. I guess maybe we'll get you on a prototype, like talking about the actual like moving between the frames and the stitching that together. Because I don't know. I want to make buttons like flicker and jump in really satisfying ways. What do you think about that?
That sounds like it would be cool. I've never done like on. Is it for mobile?
Um,
Like a mobile
no.
app, or web, or like a desktop website?
I would want to be less specific than that. I just want to play with the tool, make it look
Okay.
cool.
Sounds like fun. The last website I was just saying that because the last site I worked on was desktop, and it was kind of like a. It wasn't a thing where you do a lot of fun buttons, I guess. That's what I'm trying to boil it down to. And
Oh, I
so it would be fun to do some like cooler stuff than what I was able to do in the past,
it's it's
for
it's certainly more
reasons.
tough. Like, I'm assuming when you say a desktop app, you mean it was like written natively in like C
Or I
or
mean,
C sharp kind of thing.
not desktop app, but like a desktop website.
Mm.
Um, so it was just building on like an older like kit, like a brand kit, I guess, that wouldn't have really had. Getting into an animation wouldn't have been like top priority or even second or third priority. So all that to
Mm.
say is I didn't get a chance to really play with animations too much before either. So I think that would be a fun thing to explore.
I haven't. And I'm saying animation, but like maybe looking at animations in terms of interaction design.
Hmm.
Um, so that's a big part of UX is like, how do things feel and look and interact when you actually touch them, or I guess click them or whatever. And it's important. It's an important part of design that, like every other part of design, I find is getting more and more complicated. Like it was one thing back in the day to add a fade to a button when you hovered over it, but there's so many more things to look at now. You know, how big is your tap zone? What are the haptics like? Um, Are you on a platform that's capable of doing something that CSS is doing, or are you working in CSS, that kind of stuff? So it's definitely kind of neat. I was working with somebody recently who does interaction design a lot, and I was looking at their work over their shoulder, sort of virtually, and I'm like, oh man, this is so good and so succinct and well planned. Like, um, I hit a button, it completes an animation, and the screen wipes to a next screen. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there's like 8 or 9 different things happening, in that sequence of events. So planning for that stuff is definitely really cool. So I wanted to start tonight by just trying to like animate whatever, I don't know, some buttons.
Yeah. I was trying to get that side panel back. Oh my god. Like, I won't need that.
Oh,
It's
no
all
way,
good.
man. Well, I don't know. I don't need it right now because I'm not trying to organize anything. I'm just like going for it. Oh yeah, Sam Hain and it animates. Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah. I want these. Do something with this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. Well, but you're setting that up. I'm gonna check this thing back out. Look at my beautiful sitemap. Made this with a plugin called.
Whoa. It's so clear to me now. I was really confused about what this product did, but now that you showed me this, I get it. You've got some buckets there. They're pink.
It's got, well, the colors kind of good.
Is this what FigJam does now? That's kind of cool. Like if you're just talking about it in a
Yeah.
meeting, I'm down with that.
Yeah, it's a plugin somebody made. It could be slightly better looking. I mean, the benefit is that you go like this, and you type it in, and you basically like tab it for like the different levels. So it's super easy, and you can edit it. So I can open this back up and like.
Okay, that's cool.
You
I
can
did an
like
exercise where that would be really handy.
Ooh,
It's
wow.
pretty ugly, but I mean that's FigJam,
Whoa.
right?
What happened?
Oh, your
Just
vectors
broke
are all
it
broke there,
somehow.
bud.
Cool. I just destroyed it. Oh, each. What? Did you just keep
Okay,
creating a new
so
one
I'm
on
making a
top of each
button.
other? I think
And
I
I'm gonna do right
really.
by
All right,
you
well,
and frame it.
I don't know what.
I'm gonna frame it right now, Ian. Not work with it and frame it later. I'm gonna frame it
on with
right
that?
now.
Oh. Let's try that again. Hey, sitemap. All right, so we created a sitemap.
Hey, I have a
If I hit
question. Do people make sitemaps anymore?
I think so.
Like, are they relevant? I feel like they might. They might not be anymore.
Yeah, they definitely are. But
Oh, damn, I am gonna need that. Side panel.
stuff. All right. Yeah, I don't know about this plugin. It seems to kind of break.
I mean, that's plugins. They break.
Do. There goes that. It's not that much more time saving, like in the end, than just doing this. Like that's kind of what FigJam was made for. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it literally has like features built in.
All right. We're 5 minutes
Huh.
into the episode and I can't make auto layout work. I need you to come back here and help me.
We could just full screen that if you want. Where are you? Where is ya?
I've got a little corner going on. You probably see it if you zoom out.
I can't zoom out anymore.
I'm not in your FigJam file. I'm in our Figma file.
It's funny, I can't zoom out. The screen's so small.
Yeah, I know mine is too. I'm just like working
Oh, there
within
you
a
are.
sliver.
Too fresh to be real. Remember these bad boys?
So I want to make this component flex with the frame that it's in.
This
Yeah,
mob?
so the obvious path would be it's contained within the frame. I mean, if I were to group those, it does what I'm describing. Sorry, no, it doesn't.
You want to make it do like stay in the center?
Yeah,
Like that?
oh, it already was. But shrink it. Oh, how did you do that? Did you do nothing?
I did these ones. I guess you can't see it. The
I can see your
constraints, so
screen.
you don't even have to get into auto layout. I don't believe. You have to make this, that, there.
Where did you find constraints?
So the thing, if you, so the way I'm thinking of this is this text, if you want it to stay like in the middle of this box,
Mm-hmm.
hit that, hit the text, and then you get the constraints with a thing where it's like stick to the left, right, top, or bottom, that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's in other apps, right?
Nope. Not this implementation of it for sure.
This guy?
Center top. Okay. Cool. All right. Now I know a thing.
So you could put it center, and then it would be centered too.
And then you can style these frames like further than that, so I can give it rounded corners and whatnot. And then we have an internet button. Cool. It should be a component.
The other way. What's another way you'd want to do a button?
I don't know.
I guess that makes
Make a
sense.
button, bro. You work on the internet. Throw a button up there.
Oh, this is a button. What's this button do? How did I make this button? It's a terrible. No, that's the same way, isn't it?
Properties and variants. I really want to get into variant properties at some point because I feel like it's a deeper way of sort of like linking up your prototypes. And by the way, for anyone listening, we're talking about prototypes. Interactive prototypes are when you design something that's clickable for clients so they can use it before, a team of 12 people spend 3 months programming it. So that's kind of what we're working at now.
Prototype. The prototype zone. Get into the prototype zone.
Okay, so in my layout, or my screen, rather, I'm just going to have to keep flipping that off.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. You can do a button. Some buttons like fill. You could also do a button like this button is like a width. So you want to make this width fill the area. But you could also do a button that is padded so that the button changes size based on the text that's in it. Do you know what I mean? I can make it to illustrate that.
Go
If I,
do it up.
if I steal this button, and then I detach. Is this a component?
Yes.
I'm gonna detach it so I don't ruin anything. That's when you get into the auto layout. So you would go auto layout, and then you do the padding of that. And so that then if we go like not, then the button like it basically has padding.
Yeah.
Whereas
That's
these ones,
that's an auto layered component.
yeah.
Oh,
Whereas these ones would resize. Like it's more about like you want the button to be a fixed size and the text is centered. Where this says the button changes size based on the text size. Which I've done these. This is what I've done before, just because we've had buttons with like different shape, different width text, and it would have looked bad.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, when you're building your
Someone else
components, you
chose
want them
that
to be
design
sort of,
style.
yeah. Yeah, so I think
Versus-
what you're saying is like when you build these components, you want them to be sort of as self-contained as possible. Like you're going to have situations in a component catalog where you have things that are full width versus medium width versus like I'm a small version of a button that's, not going to take up a column.
So yeah, kind of like this, where it's like this style would render like this with different text lengths versus like this.
So where do you tell it to be a fixed size?
Um, you would just make it the size, but then you don't make it an auto layout. The auto layout's gonna like automatically do the sizing. So if you want it, if you want to be fixed size, you just take the auto layout off, which is what these are. But this one is one. This has these. This one has the auto layout. So it won't. Well, you can fuck with it and break it, but it's not supposed to.
Maybe while you're on this, maybe you can do a quick rundown on what auto layouts are in Figma.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically kind of like an order. It lets you order objects inside of a group in a certain way. This is kind of a hacky, not hacky, but like an interesting way of doing it, where it's like it just automatically gives you kind of a layout where I've given it you've basically given it some padding, so it says no matter what, it kind of like lets the objects around it dynamically resize, so that if you change content or change text inside of your designs, you don't have to then resize your boxes and backgrounds and stuff. It'll automatically resize stuff around it. So this is one example of what we're doing, where it like resizes the buttons. If you want to design your buttons so that they kind of hug the text, this will resize your buttons for you, instead of having to, every time you change the text, you got to like do this, you know what I mean, and then
Yeah,
line
no,
it up.
is there not a function within auto layout that allows you to do that, like a fixed width selection? I wonder.
Is this? I think this was it.
Oh, HUD content fixed width. Okay. Or I can change
Right.
that back to HUD content. Oh, wait, that's on an auto layout? No, it is.
Yeah,
It's
I
not.
don't know exactly why you'd have an auto layout if you're going to fix the width like that, but
If the text is centered.
yeah, it would work differently in like when you're stacking. Like, if let's say you had like the That's why I always gravitate to forms, because it's good for auto layout stuff. Because you have your form fields, and then if you duplicate one and add a new field, your whole like area gets bigger. It's almost like it's like you're editing in like Squarespace or something.
Yeah, I think the vibe is meant to simulate like div tags, p tags, that sort of thing. Like, because that's the way that HTML is constructed.
It's a lot like a div.
Just like a div. Cool.
Buttons, buttons, everywhere's buttons. Auto. These buttons are way better than my buttons.
So like a really easy example of like the transitions in Figma, I think. I think that there's better ways to think about this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that we could get into nested frames later on the correct way to do that, but I can just set up a basic animation. Wait, it's going to run your... Yeah, starting point flow through. Cool. Play it. Cool. So when I hover it, it's actually triggering the hover when I'm over top of the entire frame.
Oh yeah.
That is cool. So that's basically auto animate. It's what it's doing right now is interpolating the colors from two shapes that are exactly the same and making a transition in between them. Cool. So, maybe a better way of doing that is actually making these frames, putting these components in frames, and then linking those. Frame selection, frame selection. So Figma works in frames. Frames are sort of like, I guess a div. They almost could have called them divs, huh? I mean, you can't because it would div the term div. Divs are in HTML terms. We don't have a huge audience for this podcast, so it's a little hard to tell about how much everyone already knows, and you don't want to over-explain. But divs are the blocks with which websites are put together. All content is in sort of invisible boxes that then in CSS and HTML you code to look the way that you want. Yeah, those are divs. Anyway, frames are divs. Figma is divs.
It's all divs.
So we'll call that button state 1, and then we'll have button state 2, and then we can put those in a frame, which we'll then call the frame guys. The frame guys. That's who we are. So then when I go back to prototype, I can create a flow starting point. I can call it the canvas. The canvas. But in here, I can link that item to that item. Say while hovering. Wait, I need that item to be off the frame. I get it, but I get it, Ian. Get off my fucking ass about it, okay? I just want to take a look.
It's not going to work for that reason.
Why? I should be able to link and interact with objects within another frame, can't I?
Oh yeah, okay, that's never mind.
Yeah, fuck. Okay. Maybe that should be our stick. Maybe we'll get That's how we get clicks on this show. Is we just fight. We're the fighting designers.
Okay.
And you're like,
yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't work. I knew it wouldn't work. If you want to fight.
Okay. All right. Well, go at it. Explain to me.
So you gotta forget this idea of a canvas. I think these are two separate.
Okay. Well,
these-
hold on. Let me call it anything else.
This is one thing though. These are.
But
You're trying to animate between two frames, but they're on the same frame. You have to
No,
be on
I-
two
no.
separate,
no, I get that.
ones.
No, I get that. I was just dicking with it. I had mentioned that. So how do I do a layout with like multiple items that I can animate and navigate to?
With these, you would put each one in its own frame.
Yeah, but what if that frame had multiple buttons in it? Because I'm trying to show a demo for a product, not just one button.
You wouldn't animate between two buttons that we're showing on the same page. You can
So
only
would
animate
that help?
between frames. What's that?
Yeah, but these are two frames. These buttons are frames.
Where's the prototype? Hovering.
Oh, I think I need to like deselect it.
I mean, this is how.
Okay, well, here's a better question that I think sort of speaks to the issue, because I know it's certainly possible. How do I make this work? Because I think that's sort of what I'm asking, I guess.
It's the funniest part is I would know how to do this in XD.
Yeah, me too. Hold on, I'm muted for a moment.
So this is.
All right, back.
While hovering, you should just be able to select change to, but it's not. It's disabled. Why is that? Why is that?
I'm gonna draw a ghost. How's it going over there? What's the scoop?
I'm trying to see. Why this button won't click over.
what's going on, but I can super hear your mouse clicks tonight, and I usually never can.
That's weird. Nothing's changed. Okay, here we go. Change to variant 2. Smart animate. I'm sure that top is
Oh,
something.
okay. So in this case,
So
you're keeping all the variants, or sorry, it's animating between the variants. Like you're not handling that through different art and different frames.
for the purpose of what you're talking about is more of like a demo than a prototype, right? Than like clicking between like two screens in an app.
Sort of. I'm not talking about anything specific. I was just sort of playing with the button functionality. I wasn't like that deep into planning it. Cool.
I think that works. So that's, yeah, I guess you can just do change the states of the component.
Nice. That's good to know. Blend those shapes. It's neat because it'll use Boolean to blend vectors, but it still keeps them as separate vectors, which is like handy, but also I don't want it.
I wonder if I smart animate between these two alien pictures with only this beaker removed, if it's just gonna fade it in, probably.
I don't know, probably go crazy. Reminds me of old like
Good.
Flash tweens trying to like interpolate between each other.
Oh my god. It looked absolutely like a mutant.
Hold on. Whoa. Yeah. See, it's taking all those shapes and like Flash used to do the same thing back in the day. It's taking all the vertices from all those shapes and going like, here's a good way to move them, and it just doesn't make any sense, but it's, you know, it's working hard.
Because it's not a picture, it's it's like made up of, it's basically a group of vectors and shit, yeah. Right? When you look at, I think you can see this on the screen. When you look
Yeah,
at
like
just,
it's like maintaining all the vector data, you know,
so
that
would
it
you have
has.
to like flatten that, whatever the equivalent of that is in Figma, if there is such a thing?
So what, we're looking to make the beaker fade into existence, or just like...
Well, I actually kind of like the freakiness of it, but if I didn't want it to like mutate like that, yeah, let's say let's pretend I just want the beaker to fade and I don't want the person to like mutate.
So in that case, I would think you would separate the beaker, like the people be, the scene becomes the background, and then you're just working with the beaker, and you do like an opacity transition. So like one variant of the beaker is just 0% seeable, you know? Seeable, opaque, even maybe.
Let me try that again.
I would think that you would have to keep it, to stop it from trying to figure everything out, you would have to separate the beaker from the people and make it like its own component or object or whatever.
just an alien holding his hand out to shake hands. Well, that's kind of funny. It's the user agreement. It's like shake my hand. Should have done it the opposite way though.
Are those from Undraw
Yeah.
Me or Undraw.co or whatever?
Is there a version of flattening something in Figma?
I don't think you mean like turned it into a raster object.
Yeah.
I think you're fine to leave it as a vector. Just layer whatever you're going to animate on top of it as its own object. Object art.
There's a storm brewing. My cats. It's been crazy.
You ever getting a bit of snow here on the eastern seaboard? I think we have another 15 to 20 centimeters coming tomorrow. What's that in inches? What's that in inches? What's them inches? 15 cm in inches. 5.9. Half a foot, baby. Oh, we're getting half a foot. Yeah, it's gonna snow tomorrow. I have no idea what's gonna happen. My kids are probably gonna stay home, and then I have to do all the meetings that I was normally gonna do, except with kids at home, and that's cool. It's pretty fun. So if I wanted this ghost to change colors, then I would separate his face. Frame those objects. Group it, frame it. Group it and frame it. No, it needs to be a component. And then I would make a variant. And that variant would be a different color. Darker color. Right?
Yes.
Change to variant to
Flat.
animation.
There it is. Why
Dissolve.
didn't I see
Smart
that before?
animate. So then I can put his face back on him as a separate object. Cool. I made the ghost animate independently from his face. That makes a tremendous amount of sense. So that change to property like sort of makes everything, doesn't it? Cool, that's damn cool. So I should make that variant something wild. Easy. That's pretty easy. Cool, and it only exists in this file, and it's not portable to code in any way.
It's not. There might be something there.
Nah. Oh, I see. Those are all wrapped up as like a vector object. You'd have to actually go in here and like peel out the vertices. That's the shitty part about vectors is like sometimes when you're editing them, you just straight up gotta go around and click all 5,000 of them to like get the thing that you need selected.
Office cat. What do you do? I think I flattened it successfully.
I separated your beaker. That is not flattened. Sorry. I'm messing with your stuff.
No, it's more. It's flattened. It's flattened as far as Figma's concerned, I guess.
Yeah, Figma does that neat thing, I guess, where it sort of retains some of the information. So maybe it's like, here's your flat version, but also if you click into it, you can get the vectors as well. Okay, that brings us to about 10 o'clock. I'm just going to take a break 5 minutes early here. Pause it up. And we'll be right back. Does that make sense, Ian? I guess I should have...
Oops. Yeah, in the industry, that's what we call a BRB.
Oh, cool. Because I kept calling it a pee break in meetings, and everyone looked at me really strange. But I'll try BRB next time. All right, we'll be back. All right, and we are back. We're back. We kept it tight that time. Sometimes it's like 10 minutes. I've eaten a sandwich on break before. All right, we are back.
That's the new way. 5-10 minutes.
5-10 minutes,
The live YouTube kind of podcast, whatever format. It's a little loose. We're all humans.
We're a little loose. All right, so yeah, we're just playing with auto animate in Figma here this evening. I'm just messing around with some buttons. Got some cool prototypes on the go. Prototype, of a button that changes.
Prototyping fun. I have it on good authority that this website, formerly known as Mountain Equipment Co-op.
Yes,
Now
famous
Mountain
Canadian
Equipment
outdooring brand, Mountain Equipment Company. Fabled, troubled brand, Mountain Equipment Company.
Yeah, something. I don't even really know the full details.
Well, so it's yeah, there is a lot of details to it. Famed outdooring brand was a co-op, so the idea was that a certain amount of the money that went into their company was going to go into other initiatives like helping the forest and preserving wildlands and other such things. Anyway, years into this deal, it sort of was discovered that none of that money was going anywhere. And they got in some trouble for it, and blah, 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 blah. Now they're owned by, like, a Russian holding company?
Oh, yeah. Really?
I don't know. They're owned by a holding company, though. You had told me this.
Yeah, I know they're owned by, like, a company.
When I hear holding company, I assume it's Chinese or Russian or Iranian or some country with oligarchs with much more money than us.
They'll probably ruin it, which sucks. But anyway, I've always thought that they had a good website. And apparently, to some extent, they're going to be redoing it. I don't know what that entails. They just sent me an email, funny enough, because they just said, we're redoing our website and you've got items on your wish list and they won't get carried over. That must have been a painful, discussion. It's like, we can't carry the wish list over. It's like, are we going to have to write an email? They're like, no, we can't do that. It's just like, no, how do we spin this? Anyway, I don't care. I didn't even remember I had anything on there. But all that to say is that's kind of how I found out that they're doing their site. And no more info than that. Other than mentioning something like improving search, which I also already thought was kind of good.
Mm-hmm. Just talking about improving search today.
So anyway, it'll be interesting.
So my I don't want to say my I think users' expectation with search boxes is that you're going to type something in. You might get type ahead. You probably won't. But you're going to type something in and hit enter and get a page of results.
Yeah, and this one.
So I'm looking for type like jackets.
What kind of jacket are you looking for?
Nothing, just
Well,
type jacket. So we've got some type ahead search there. That's really cool. What happens,
Nice.
don't click any of that. Just hit enter.
So we're just going to look. We've got categories, and then we've got products popping up. So this is kind of helpful in that it's just like, oh, hiking jackets, shelled ski jackets. So, but anyway, we'll hit enter. We'll see what we get.
and you get a
Okay.
page. Well, that's a predetermined category. Actually, that's doing a really good job.
Yeah, I
So,
know. Like
uh,
it.
my personal belief is that with really like robust type ahead, and I mean, again, this is doing a good job of it. That you can use search as like much more of a navigation method.
Yeah.
Like,
Like it
why
doesn't.
go 5 layers deep in a navigation that is understandably a complex hierarchy when I just want jackets? Like, boop boop boop,
And so
JAC.
often search like this is what I want for jackets. This is a great page to get to, and it's not like just an accident. Like it's got these different categories,
Mm-hmm.
as well as your typical search results, and they got like I don't know some kind of jacket finder ads in here or something. But so often, like website searches, like are just like a jumble of shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it wouldn't be this. It would
No,
take
you
you
get a
like
page of results. You know.
yeah, and it's just kind of
I wonder if you type something non-traditional in there, like type teal.
uh. All right, so it's picking up some like specific products. No,
Okay,
it's not
cool.
wrong.
No, it had teal was a keyword somewhere in there.
What I liked was like
What about big
if you
knife?
well actually they don't have many knives.
Wow.
I've looked, but let's see.
Ah, articles and information. So we don't have a category that matches something in our clothing database, so now we're going to give them this. Where do those live? Where do you guys write articles?
Article section? That's not terrible, I guess. Although I'm surprised that because they do have knives, like multi-tools and stuff. All right, so that's a little bit of a fail. But the filtering is filtering, but it works. What I like is like say, I mean, you could do it for anything. Let's say I'll do it for this, like multi-tool. Uh, I want a multi-tool, but I want it to be lightweight. I don't want one that's too heavy. Or whatever. The comparison tool I find is actually like really good. Pretty typical. You can like minimize it. I'm like looking at these. All right, let's compare that one.
That's
Compare this
interesting.
one.
I would never hit a compare button.
I've been doing
It's
it
like,
on
oh,
like
this is too involved.
I've been doing it for stuff here when I was looking at like tents and things and sleeping bags because weight is like a factor. So it's like I need to compare and like size is a thing. So I thought their implementation of the compare was really pretty good. And then you can like get into it, so like it's like, oh, I can look at the weight. I'm like, oh, this one's light. Let me check that out. Then you can compare from the product page too, which is cool. So it's like this compare thing follows you around as you like look at stuff. I've actually kind of used it. So you could then go like, oh, then I'm going over, look at this one, add it to your compare from here,
Oh man, did you see that cool axe?
and then it sides go. Yeah, actually,
Oh, look how cool that axe is.
this one, I'm actually gonna buy this knife, but this, well let's compare. I want to see what are the. All right, remove them all. We're on
I
a
mean,
new
it's a
journey now.
$200 axe.
Oh God,
There's not a good way to justify that.
oh, that's a cool one. That's not. That's a
Gerber? Gerber? Like Gerber, the Nestle baby food brand? That can't be. It's
No,
a different
it
Gerber.
can't be, right? Oh look! Oh geez, these are expensive. Oh, they're so cool. Ah. Anyway, let's have a little compare these axes.
I wish you could see what I got going on here.
50 centimeters. How long is that? 2 feet?
I broke out my ghost into two different pieces, and I've got his head and his body animating separately on
Oh, that's
hovers.
cool. I can see
That
it.
is cool. Blah, 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 blah. Fun. Okay, sorry. I get it. It's all dawning on me now.
These are all from Sweden. No wonder they're expensive.
These buttons look fixed with.
These?
Yeah.
Probably padded. I think they're padded.
I think they're fucking fixed with, Ian. Ah! Rock solid guarantee. Inspired gear, informed device. Members get it. Sorta. Mech is good. It's very nice gear, for sure. Thoughtfully designed.
Yeah, it's just flat out like cheaper. They're their own brand.
What does
I'll
the
take it.
cart look like?
Good question.
Have you ever seen
compare-
Nathan
oh,
for
on mobile,
You?
too.
Have we
Compare
we
what's
talked
really
about
like.
Nathan for You yet as friends?
Not in depth.
You should watch Nathan for You. At one point, he decided to like vertically integrate with himself and started his own like Canada Goose brand. But then actually did it, and like fans of the show started buying them, and I think it's actually still a jacket company.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's pretty good. He's a local guy. Got to start in Halifax. Okay, you're comparing. Add things to the cart. What's the
I
cart
know.
look
I
like?
want to add. I just don't want to add a dumb thing. I want to add this axe.
Their comments are gonna light up later. They're like, "Good choice, idiot."
Yes, that's a stupid knife.
Do you even know what knives are cool? Says Mall Ninja 69.
Okay, so this item ships for free. That's nice to know. That's compelling, actually. Cool. I'm happy about that. Okay, that's normal. I can continue shopping. Oh, I'm on mobile too, by the way. Or small screen view. If I'm not, then it's a modal. Okay, cool.
Okay, continue shopping. Checkout. That's what I expect to see.
Customers who bought the axe also bought a knife and some socks. And some... Oh, man. I was going to say and some rope, and then there's some rope. Did you hear about the Amazon review killer? The guy that killed people and he's put the reviews on Amazon of like, yeah, this is good rope for tying up people or something like that.
I've seen the YouTube videos that are like the review killer,
Yeah,
but I've never actually watched it.
it was real. It was a real
That's.
guy.
I
Yeah, it was
mean,
just like a
you gotta
murderer.
want to get caught. It's like, yeah, it's like I'm gonna go leave a review
He's getting his
about my
murder reviews
killings.
on Amazon.
Hey, you probably
Great
got
for
a
killing. Kill's good.
Bezos is like, I'm sure he got a good value and it came to his home on time. I don't
Freedom.
like, so when talking about information hierarchy, I don't like that the continue shopping button is grouped with the checkout button.
Oh, can I go back?
Can you go back to that panel? I know it's very specific. We're like looking at a cart in a state with one item in mobile, but it's something I see a lot. Oh, it is a modal. Oh, I see it's a modal, but on mobile, it just happens to be full width on mobile. Yeah. So that continue shopping button is separate from checkout. If I see a list of items that I can check out on, that makes sense. If it were me personally, I would get that continue shopping button above the list of items. Like, so when you think about the experience, right, like a user is jumping in their cart, the reason that you hit continue shopping is because you wanted to go into your cart and see how much money you have racked up or what you've actually put in there so far. That's a different decision to me than checkout and probably deserves a bit of priority. I would have it above that element. It's not relevant to checking out with your list of items. And is maybe more accessible at the top of the screen. That's a little thing, but it's something that you look at, I think, as a UX designer, right? Like,
and this.
what is the conversational context of this screen?
The only time I see this is when I add something to the cart. So this isn't even my cart either.
Well,
It's just like I don't know what you'd call it.
I I mean, if it has a checkout button on it and it lists all your items, I would think it might be the cart. What was that? Was that just this screen in a mobile view? Okay, yeah.
Cart.
Okay, this is more cartly looking to me. To remove things. Why not have this interface on that screen that we were just looking at? I mean, there's nothing like so heavy going on here that you couldn't have managed it from that last panel.
Yeah, I've often wonder what works best, and maybe it's different for different sites. But Amazon, when you add something, because here it's almost like making the assumption that it's like maybe you're not ready to check out yet. It's like, hey, you just added this to your cart. Do you want to check out, or do you want to keep buying more stuff? And Amazon, I've always found it interesting because I'm assuming they test the shit out of everything. That when you add something to your cart there, it takes you right to here, like into the checkout. It's just like, all right, time to check out. Where I would almost think they would want to keep you shopping around and getting more stuff in your cart. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
Because
if
in
people
some
want
sites,
to
when you
check
add it to
out,
your
I
cart-
mean, you. Sorry?
I was just say, and then some sites when you add, I wish I could think of one, but some sites when you add it to your cart, nothing happens. It just a little pop-up will come up here, and it's almost just assumed that you're staying on the site to shop more. Maybe it's just like, I don't know.
That's tough. That's one of those like metrics-driven decisions where how do you decide until you know?
It must be.
Like maybe that's a behavior that people just like, and that's what they want. I don't know.
Maybe stuff like that just doesn't really matter that much, but however the stars were aligned when they did their A/B testing that day, that won.
Well,
I sometimes wonder that if you just repeated A/B tests that were close to each other, if they would, and just like I don't know, like switch, because sometimes you get numbers that are so close to each other that like, is it?
how can you make a
you wouldn't
meaningful
consider it
decision one way or
technically
another?
significantly different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's like, is it really a difference? My back is killing me. I need to do more standing at my standing desk. Well, okay. Anyway, mech site isn't the worst, that's for sure.
I like it when I hit add item and like a little puting sort of like thing happens near the cart. Like I see the number change. I think you'll even see carts go as far as like, you know, I don't know, a big brand like Old Navy or Zara or something where you actually see an animation, like there's some sort of transition between 1 and 2. Like there's motion around the cart icon to let you know that like a thing has happened. That's what I prefer personally, because I just want to like toss things in that cart and then I'll deal with it before I pay. Look at this pillow.
I know, they're sucking me in. I'm just like, what is this, an inflatable pillow?
That would have been pretty good. For our viewers, Ian's very into hiking camping, if you didn't know already.
Oh, we didn't know. This is what I bought.
I feel like an air-filled pillow would be so fucking freezing cold. Like,
Yeah, I
unless
don't
it had
like
some
that.
tech involved.
I don't think it's what you want. Anyway, that's mech. Breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs work. Sometimes when I'm in a category, I'll like click up to the higher up one. Let's see.
What are some other good carts? What's the best cart? Someone's done it.
I haven't bought anything.
It's something like
bought-
the golden
only
spoon
reason-
or whatever, the magic spoon. Where
Yeah,
they're like
that's
their
good.
shopping cart is like this whole animated, graphically designed experience. Oh, a private window.
Try not to tarnish like the history.
Let's pick a letter that Ian can type into his history bar and see what comes up. Let's start with P. Um,
Cereal bars. Okay.
fuck, man,
Let
Mr.
me.
Beast. Good friend of the show, fan of the channel, #1 subscriber, Mr. Beast. Just launched.
Yeah, I call him. Oh yeah, I just call him Jimmy, but yeah,
Yeah, I personally call him Jimmy because we're best buds, and he calls me all the time.
James.
Jimmy James, I call him, and he's like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
Nick, fuck off. We hang out so much. Why do you always say my name to me?" And I'm like, "Jimmy, I need some of that money, buddy." He's got a bars company called Feastables that are sort of like protein. I'm assuming this kind of jam. And I also think that it might be employing this magic spoon tech where they make things taste delicious and they're not. It's like that chocolate's made of fucking gravel, but they've got the tech to make it good.
Low carb, high protein. Well,
Those seriously,
this
those
just
look
looks
like
like a fairly regular granola bar. To be
I was,
completely honest,
I was about to say they look like the fucking dips bars that I put in my kids'
It's
lunch,
nothing.
and I eat them in the middle of the night and feel terrible about myself.
Same magic now, bowl free. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not cereal. It's just a granola bar.
Cool.
Great. I like granola bars. 10 grams of protein's nice. Probably $80 for a box though.
Yeah, it's really expensive. That Feastables brand
something
was
going on with this
50. It was like $40 USD for 12 of them or something. Oh, that's a beautiful package though. They paid for the ink. It's cool. They're like, we have
You have
this
a crush on
thing
this
that probably
website.
exists for a while, so how do we take it and make it into a luxury brand? So, seriously, I really do think with Magic Spoon or some of these other companies, they were like, hey, we found this chemical. It's in this rare plant, and when you put it on your tongue, it makes everything taste like candy. And they figured that technology out, and then they marked it right up through
Well, that's
design.
a side story. You ever hear? Remember? You ever hear about like that miracle berry or whatever it's called? You eat it and it makes sour things sweet.
Yeah,
Have you ever had it?
I did. I think you gave it to me.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I had them and it's fucking wild. Look at this. Can you see this? It says default title. Someone didn't change the
Where?
default code
In the graphic?
in Magic in this drop-down menu.
Yikes, they're probably like working on a hot fix right now. Somebody just got a call on. They're like, you need to fucking fix this. Website's broken. You piece of shit.
These are Cliff Bars, is what they are. Kind of like a different shaped Cliff Bar. I know it. I don't think they'd be good. Cliff Bars aren't that great. I'm yelling right to the microphone.
Do you ever? No, your levels are okay. Actually, I think I might be higher than you tonight, on average. Do you
$40.
remember the episode of It's Always Sunny when Charlie made the energy bites?
No.
This is a radio contest, and it was like if you dance all night, you win the prize. Last person to stop dancing.
Yes,
so he made
yes.
he made these energy bites. That's always
Didn't
what I
they have,
think
like-
of.
Didn't they have like downers in them though, or something? Like
They were full of cough syrup and pills and stuff, and then he ended up eating them all. Great. Yeah, anyway, that's what I think of when I look at those like lumpy au natural granola bars. My partner has been making granola lately, like granola and honey and cinnamon and like whatever she puts in it with cashews and all this stuff. It's fucking so good. And then we have like a garbage bag full of this delicious tasting stuff, and you just eat it with yogurt in the morning. Or when everyone goes to bed, I eat it with vanilla ice cream like a disgusting piece of shit.
Oh, vanilla ice cream would be so good.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's when you start tweaking it down, and it's just like let's dial back the carbs, and great. I like stuff with protein in it, but it's like you crank the protein up too much, and it starts tasting fake. You try to turn it into like a super bar, and it's it. You know that you've done something.
Well, it's like all those miracle chocolate. It's like it's basically chocolate, but doesn't make you gross or give you diabetes. You eat it, and it's this chalky nonsense. Like it's not good. It's not. It's not good. I don't know, man.
There's laws to like the conservation of matter, like
Hmm.
there's like an equal reaction type stuff. You can't just have something taste delicious but not be bad for you. It's doing something else somewhere. There's a price to be paid in some way.
That's the
It's no
universal
free ride here.
truth. Is like Gaia, the creator of the universe, is like, fuck, I mean, sugar was the most powerful drug that I gave them, and they found it right away. They started mass producing it and feeding it to their children, those fucking idiots. How didn't they know? How could something taste so good and not be bad for you? Oh, cool, now I have a crown on my ghost.
Sugar is a drug in its own way.
Sort of refined sugar. I mean, there's that whole thing. I don't know how true this is, but the conception is that Neanderthal, early human, early primate teeth didn't rot. Like they had their teeth. They would find people in Egyptian sarcophaguses from thousands of years ago, and all their teeth are intact because they fucking didn't eat vanilla ice cream with granola before they went to bed.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah, they didn't know how to live.
No, man, you got to do it like the Amish. The Amish, when you turn 12, they pull all your teeth out and give you dentures. That's science fact, Ian.
That sounds okay to me.
Yeah, kind of, honestly. If you had, like,
Have to worry
space
about it.
teeth, like
Nice
Elon,
teeth.
Elon Musk will, like, make a company called Teeth in 3 years where they just 3D print them out of fucking metal alloys.
Yeah, it's just called like Teeth Company.
The Teeth
I
Company,
I decided, why can't you just print teeth?
TEE.th.
Yeah.
Have you seen these YouTube ads? Dude, I keep coming across them, and I'm like, I'm gonna QuickTime screen record one of these so I can show Ian. It's like a YouTube ad, and it's a fake Elon Musk speech.
What?
Like,
Like a deep fake?
no, it's not. It's like a bad impersonation. It's like a fucking English. I gotta stop swearing so much on stream. It's like an English guy. Well, we waited through the first hour to start swearing, and that's the rule. It's like an English guy doing sort of like his best Elon Musk impersonation,
Someone's going offline.
and they use all this cobbled together footage of Elon to make like as if he's giving a speech about his next big investment opportunity. And it's really sad. It's really sad and frightening. Like, he gets on stage, he's like, you probably heard of me. I'm Elon Musk. I started X.com, which transitioned to PayPal, and da-da-da, and I own Tesla. And my next big thing is quantum computing. And we have quantum computing software. Start investing in this ETH, baby. And that's, like, what it's all about. Oh, you're back. Hi.
I am. I was trying to look at the stream to see if it was me or you that was disconnected.
I don't... If you were looking at the stream, it must have been me. I don't know why I'm getting, like, intermittent connection loss. That sort of sucks. But we are back. Hi.
It's not starming out yet, is it?
No, she ain't starming out yet, bud. Okay. No, sounds like we're fine. Anyway, fake Elon YouTube ads are too much.
What's it an ad for?
Some like investment opportunity, like, hey, click here to invest now. But it's sort of framed up like it's Elon Musk's quantum computing company. I don't know. Also, fuck that guy, by the way.
He's really gone off the rails, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's like one of those things. It's like once you're surrounded with enough people that believe in with you, it's like inevitably people just start saying like radical shit that they have no business saying.
People go mad with power.
People go mad with power. Russian forces seize control of Chernobyl nuclear power plant, Ukrainian official says. I know that the idea with this show is that...
Oh.
Are you there? No, you're there.
Yeah.
I know that we want to avoid talking about bummer stuff, but as nerds, that's like of particular sort of interest to us, I feel like.
The power plant wasn't active, was it? Or was it only one reactor that was? Because they got the big dome on it.
The sarcophagus? Yeah. No, it's
like there's
it,
no
it can
active electricity generating it there at all, right?
it did for a while. No, it did consist of 4 RBMK reactors. Yeah, so after the initial explosion, like that, the other 3 reactors in Chernobyl were still running. They've since been shut down.
Okay.
But it's a really unique place in the world where it's the only place that you can study nuclear aftermath in that capacity. Like, there's just no other old cities that were like abandoned because of nuclear fallout, and because of those conditions, it makes it this really incredible place that the world has come to study. The thought of that, not being accessible, or potentially being in danger because the world can't come in to work on the sarcophagus, which by the way is being replaced. The old sarcophagus, shitty. They're building a new one. They've been working on it. I sure hope they fix that, because that can't be open. Like, you can't just open the lid on that fucking thing. Anyway, wasn't going to talk about the Ukraine situation tonight, but man, that sucks. That really sucks. A YouTuber that we both like, Kyle Hill. You should check him out if you're into science, and particularly radiation and isotopes. Like if you're...
Yep, that's a Hi There approved channel.
Totally. That is a Hi There. That's one of the few YouTubers that like I will text in and be like, yo, dude, new Kyle Hill, like check this out. It's so good. Because he actually went to Chernobyl and did the whole tour and has been producing a video series about it. And... I mean, you gotta check it out. They're truly fascinating. He has a gaming channel too, which is hilarious. Like, he'll play games and then just shit on them from like a scientist perspective of like, well, that doesn't make any sense. That's impossible. You got any more sites to look at? I'm sort of getting convinced that you could make not a game, but maybe like sort of a game-esque toy out of like the prototyping and animation features in Figma. I mean, how far could you push auto-animate? I've rotated an element here and it knows that. So I took an element, I rotated it 180 degrees, and then I hit auto-animate, and it knows, like, oh, it's object A, but now it's had this transition applied to it, which is 180 degrees. Let's animate that. How far can you push that into, like, animating a character on a path, or...
You can do stuff based on time, so you could have stuff, like, keep going.
Oh, yeah, like 12 million milliseconds?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me try that. I gotta try that. Hover change to ease out. Let's do 300,000. It caps out at 10,000 milliseconds. And then I will prototype, or I will run that. So you can imagine as a designer, oh yeah. 10,000 milliseconds. I guess is 10 seconds. 10 full seconds when you count them out feels like a long time. I think that you can see, from a design perspective, like, if you can mix and match all these elements, well, now you can start to string together something that's, like, a lot more complicated, which is interesting. And it's animating back around. That's cool. So, sorry to cut you off there, Ian, but yeah, I do think it might be possible to do a sort of choose-your-own-adventure style game, almost. Like a Sam & Max style click-around. I'm trying to think of old PC games you might know.
Yeah, I think so.
I know so. That's a Hi There guarantee. You can build video games in Figma. We're going to do it next week. Sky 1, Ghost Guy 2. So, can I chain these together for even more amazing results in a different flow? So if I gave that a starting point and then chained those together and said, while hovering, just to really kind of fuck it up here, and we'll go back to 300 milliseconds. 300 milliseconds in programming world is a tick. Is that correct? Or is it 100 milliseconds? I believe it's 300. JavaScript and sort of JavaScript's the one I'm familiar with, but works in ticks, and those ticks are on a set interval of milliseconds, and that's how you time things out. That's why you measure things in milliseconds rather than seconds, apparently. So let's fire that for a prototype.
I've lost like an object on the board. I'm trying to find it.
Okay, that worked way too well. Change to, let's make that 300 milliseconds. Can you see my feed at all?
Yeah.
So if I pop that flow, it's just going to take a second to load. So if I hover the container, he's going to rotate. But it's still going to maintain the rest of the animations in that character. So the frame rotates, the body changes color, the mouth changes position, the crown fades in and out. And then it all resets if I mouse out. That's pretty fucking cool. That's cool. That's the bones of, like, you could animate a character somehow. Although I still need that mouth transition to be less. That's cool. You could hypothetically nest animations on animations on animations for days. I wonder how many nested animations we could do. What if you nested 90-degree rotations for like 100 squares, so that as you moused over it, it created this like cascading animation? I guess at a certain point you would just max out your video card.
I wonder if Figma has a limit of stuff.
Like an object
like
limit?
A limit of like nested.
Let's look that up.
Certain things.
Yeah, probably. They probably don't even know. Like, if you were to talk to their dev staff, they're like, yeah, we tried it once programmatically. Once you get down to about 10,000 objects, like, the app starts acting weird, and we don't know why. Blah, 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 blah. That's super fun. Alright, well, it's 1:45. What do you think about wrapping her up? Unless you have, like, a new thing you want to start, but I'm detecting that.
Nope,
I'm detecting that it's time.
I pasted a file, I pasted something onto this board, and I'm
Can't
scrolling
find it.
around trying to find it. I don't know if there's a different way to do it, but I feel like that's perfect way to end.
It's like, I can't.
It's
no.
gone. I lost it forever.
It's gone forever. Well, we are too.
What?
Until next week. We're gone forever for 6 more days. Yeah, that's it. That's auto animate in Figma. I hope this was educational. It certainly was for me. I don't know. Do you have any sign off remarks?
Find out what's new. have any questions or tips or things that you want to design or questions, you know what to do. Drop it in the
Yes.
comment.
Let's do that whole spiel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, or you even just have something that you want designers to take a look at, we'd be happy to do it on the stream. Please reach out to us at hitheretweets@gmail.com. That's hitheretweets. Wait. No, that's our Twitter account.
Our Twitter. You can do that. You can go
Check
there.
us out at Hi There Tweets on Twitter, or you can check us out at the Hi There Show at gmail.com. That's the Hi There Show at gmail.com. Jesus. Criminy.
Leave a YouTube
Ian.
comment. Leave a like. Don't subscribe, because subscribing is not cool anymore.
No,
The
subscribing
YouTube
sucks.
algorithm will show you what you're supposed to watch. You're not meant to decide. And so, yeah. No worries. Have a good night.
All right. Yeah, that's it. Bye.